What is going on, everybody?
Hello.
Brave Slasher here. We are back with the Pound and Slash Marvel Media Podcast. This is the Comic Corner.
Comic Corner, episode 17.
Episode 17.
Yeah, we did 17.
We've been doing this for 17 weeks, y'all. 17 weeks.
I almost gonna say 17 years. It almost came out. It really did. I say we would do this for 17 weeks. Yep.
Year weeks.
Something.
Year weeks.
We did it for something.
We actually have a pretty good lineup of comics.
Yeah, all these are good.
Pretty good lineup of comics here. There was actually an extra page I was meant to add at some point. Anyway, so we're actually going to jump into this. Now, we get some cool things that we get to talk about. We get to watch the Avengers first show up for their first time.
Which I thought that one was good.
We get to watch, Spidey fight Doom.
Spidey fight Doom, right.
Which is a fun little thing. We get to watch Prince Namor.
Go to war. Goes to war. Namor goes to war. Just
with humanity.
Right. Just with humanity. A
lot of Fantastic Four based stuff though. Like they're all over the fucking place.
This is like a Fantastic Four central thing going on here. It's crazy.
This is Fantastic Four week for whatever fucking reason.
Right.
Last week we were like, hey, the Fantastic Four comics have actually been really good lately, and they're like, oh, really? Here's an entire fucking week.
Right. I just see that in the 60s. They're like, man, you guys like that shit? Guess what? Boom. Everywhere. Spam.
So with that, we're gonna, drop the banner. Drop the banner. And then we are going to bring up our aid. As you can see, it is week 17. Last week, he chose Mr. Fantastic.
Yep.
Mr. Fantastic's on here twice.
Yeah, he is.
I was actually originally, when I planned this, going to make it a rule that you can't pick somebody that's already on the screen. But then I decided not to, because it's like, you know what? If somebody's that outstanding, they deserve to be on there twice.
Well, because he showed progression from the time that we saw him. Let's go into the spaceship to if you're gonna do it quietly. Right. I was like, yes.
So yeah,
this man's a savage.
So that's Mr. Richards there as the thing. So, and see Merlin down there in the bottom left hand corner.
Mm-hmm.
We run into him later.
Yes, we do.
It's some weird shit. It doesn't make sense, by the way, but it's cool.
It's cool. It's Merlin. Hey, I take it.
It just didn't make sense.
Yeah, no, it's
all right.
It fell out of place.
So, starting off, we've got our Marvel trivia question of the week.
Hey.
True or false? Loki assembles the supervillains who carry out the acts of vengeance to take down the Avengers and other heroes. Do you want to know the answer? Wait till the end of the episode. Don't fast forward. I'd usually tell you to fast forward. Don't fast forward. Listen to our fucking episode.
Right. Watch our shit.
No,
man.
actually,
awesome.
if you want to know, fast forward.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's all three of you people who watch us. Because we're awesome.
We're like up to 5 now. 5 of you.
5.
All 5 of you that watch.
Yeah! 5 people, including the cat. Let's go.
Our first comic, The Amazing Spider-Man number 5, Marked for Destruction by Dr. Doom.
I like that title, by the way, too. That title is interesting. Damn.
This was published October 10th, 1963, written by Stan Lee, penciled and inked by Steve Ditko.
Yep.
Rest in peace to both those wonderful men.
Yeah. Right.
They are the main reason for a lot of my happiness as a kid.
Them reason we got Spider-Man here, just in general.
Exactly.
That's it.
Here are some characters you're gonna see. You're gonna see that's not Sandman. See, and I knew at some point
you had fucked up somewhere.
That was gonna fucking happen. And the bad thing is, when I was creating this, I was like, I gotta remember to change that.
Right. And he said that's not Sandman because it should be the Fantastic Four, Doom, Spider-Man, and I think is there anything? J. Jonah Jameson,
Dr. Doom, right. Aunt May, Betty Brant, J. Jonah Jameson, Flash Thompson, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. And, of course, the Fantastic Four. Like I said, it's Fantastic Four week.
Right. I had to make sure there was... Cause I know there's the human people, too. Like Betty and Aunt May and J. Jonah Jameson.
Right.
Right.
Anyways, I got cat hair all over me. So, we begin with J. Jonah Jameson running Spidey through the mud on TV. Basically talking shit about him. Peter pretends to agree with him, while Flash is basically calling Peter a bitch.
He really did. Damn. Like, that's crazy.
Meanwhile, Dr. Doom is listening in and makes a plan to team up with Spidey to take over the world.
That would be a lit comic, by the way.
Right. He uses some sort of weird spider frequency thing and contacts Spidey while Spidey is training in his bedroom.
Yep.
Spidey arrives at the building that Doom is hiding in and declines Dr. Doom's offer. And then when Spidey tries to web him up, he finds out that it's not really Dr. Doom. It's one of Doom's Doombots. Which they have not been called Doombots yet, but we know what they are.
I can't wait till we see those in the MCU, bro. That's going to be interesting. Anyway.
If those show up in the MCU.
They better what? That's the bots, bro.
So, Doom then tries to ineffectively use a couple traps.
Right.
Spidey dips out until he can come up with a plan to stop Dr. Doom. On his way out, though, Doom destroys the building that they were in, and Spidey is seen leaving the scene by other people, which obviously make them go, oh, I wonder what Spider-Man was doing there.
Man, I would have been like, hey, this is some shady shit, bro. You see that shit, bro? He done blew up the building.
Right.
Right. That's exactly what I was like. Hey, Nick, he blew up the building, bro.
So, Spidey ends up selling some pictures of the burning building to J. Jonah Jameson, while Flash Thompson is dressed as Spider-Man with a plan to scare Peter Parker.
Okay.
That makes sense, Flash. I don't know what the fuck you were going for.
Hey, bro.
But hey.
And it says it right there. I'm gonna scare, bro. Like, oh, fam, dude, this ain't gonna work, man.
So
first he can sense you coming,
right,
from a mile away, bro.
While this has happened, Doom has created a contraption that can read spider frequencies of other kinds, and he uses it to pinpoint where Spider-Man's at. And just as Peter is passing Flash, who's dressed up as Spidey, Doom captures Flash Spider-Man.
Roll credits.
And runs off with him. So he's picking up Peter's signature.
Right.
But since Flash is right beside him, dressed as Spider-Man, he thinks that. So Doom did it dumb.
You know what would have been a dick move? If Spider-Chad just went, goodbye. I'm going back to school. He just didn't even care about saying it.
Spider-Man.
Yep.
Hey.
Peter Parker just dips.
Well, he almost does that.
He almost did. And that's why I was like, yo,
later on.
This would have got a, bro. If he had just dipped, dude, it would have got it, bro.
So Peter gets home, and Doom takes over television waves, saying that he's captured Spider-Man. Peter then gets a call from Liz Allen saying Flash was dressed as Spidey and has disappeared. And there's actually in this panel a point where Parker's like, why should I save him? He's my biggest enemy as a human. He's like, but you know what? I can't let people die.
Bro, if it wouldn't in fact let people die. You should just let the police handle and just that would have been it. Like, oh my god, this is great.
Well, the Fantastic Four, let's be real, would have stopped him anyway. So.
That's what I'm saying. They did it before in the they did his last issue. Or the Dr. Ock one, the 2 year issues before it. So,
so Peter figures he has to save his biggest human enemy. Aunt May goes through some of her bullshit, and he ends up tricking her into being able to leave the house. And then he ends up using his spider sense to track down where Dr. Doom is. Right. At this point, we also see that the Fantastic Four are making a plan on looking for Doom as well.
See, they were already going. It was happening.
Spidey finds Doom, sneaks into the building through the air vent. Once inside, Doom tries to use several contraptions to stop Spidey, but again, fails.
Right.
There's an epic back and forth struggle that happens between the two of them, and just as Doom gets the upper hand, the Fantastic Four arrive. Doom freaks the fuck out, escapes out the back.
He dips.
Spidey rushes home because he knows Aunt May's probably worried about him, and then the Fantastic Four end up being the ones that actually save Flash from wherever.
That's what I'm saying. Captured. You could have just said "fuck this whole thing, bro."
And we end with Flash basically bragging about the fact that he's telling people that he stopped Dr. Doom. And all the other kids at school are like, "Yay, go Flash!"
Right?
Woo.
Oh God!
Look, Flash, you don't become a hero for at least 15 more years, 20 more years.
Right,
maybe.
and you become Agent Venom, which actually I like Agent Venom, but that's the point. But as of right now, I don't. Isn't
he paralyzed under the suit? Like the suit allows him to move, but without the suit, I don't know. He has something wrong with him.
Yeah, something's wrong. Well, and the fact that it works better for him too, because people are like, at the time, like
he knows how to control it.
Yeah, he knows how to control it because it works. It works for him. It's fair like Eddie Brock wrestling, where it's like, it kind of acts up here and there, but it's like, no, it works for him perfectly actually. Right. And it turns to a football player. He's a football player. He turns to what he looks like.
So I actually gave this story a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.
I didn't think it was like the best of the best,
right?
But it was really good. It was really fun. It was interesting to watch again.
And Peter Parker was making some real decisions here, like, bro.
Right, and it makes, having Fantastic Four crossover
again.
Crossover is always going to be good.
Yeah, them crossovers are going to be lit, man.
Especially still early on this way. Like, this has been a staple for Marvel from the beginning.
Right. This lets you know they've been always. Because people say, when they cross over? All the time. They have never stopped, actually. Well, you got all these characters here eventually. They're going to bound to bump into each other eventually. They're all in the same area.
Right.
On the same planet. Come on now. Come on. Make them join. Cross somehow.
All right. Next up, we get Strange Tales number 112. This is called The Human Torch Faces the Threat of the Living Bomb. This was published September 1st, 1963, written by Stan Lee and Joe Carter, penciled and inked by Dick Ayers.
There it is. There it is, friend. The one and only.
The characters we are going to see in this one are going to be Johnny Storm / the Human Torch, which I think moving on from this point on, I'm just going to have their superhero names. You should probably know.
Right, since we already know.
Unless it's a new character.
Right.
Right.
Cool.
Because I'm tired of typing all that out all the fucking time. I'm not gonna lie to
I
you.
see him now.
I will still mention their actual name.
But you know who they are. He was just like Invisible Girl.
But at this point, you
Miss
just
Fantastic.
know who the fuck they are.
Ben Grimm, there you go. Or the thing, there it is.
So yeah, Johnny Storm backslash the Human Torch, the Fantastic Four, the rest of the team actually shows up in this as well. And our villain's name is actually the Eel.
The Eel.
Because, way to be creative.
Yeah, they completely shit the bed on that villain, but that's okay. It's somewhat okay, I guess. I'll take it.
So we start off with the Torch trying to impress some people, and everyone seems really fucking annoyed with him.
Yeah. They do. They look so shitty, bro.
When he gets home, we actually find out that a popular TV personality has been basically down-talking Torch and talking major shit about him.
It's us.
And
they know us.
And everyone is, agreeing with the TV personality. He's like, yo, man, he's just a show-off. He's a kid. He doesn't really know what he's doing.
Every time he goes to the water, it just flames off, but sometimes it'll flame on. I don't fucking know.
So then Torch goes to confront him and gets mad enough that he automatically flames on, which does not look good. Does not look good for him, by the way. And now he's a hothead.
Oh, he's a hothead. Bro, I swear, when I read that, I said, bro, that's... they really put us in this bitch.
And so he leaves.
He leaves, too.
Meanwhile, a villain by the name of the Eel steals a box labeled Project X from this lab. The Eel gets home, opens it, revealing that it's just a normal... he reveals it, and he also... he opens it, and then it also reveals that he is actually just a normal aquatic trainer at the zoo.
Right. Keyword the Eel.
Which is why he's the Eel.
Right. Hello.
Also, when he opens it, he sees this little lever on it, and he's like, should I pull that? No. Maybe it does something I don't need it to do. This will come back later.
Man, pull that bitch. Don't play.
So...
Right, pull that bitch. What?
Over the radio, it is announced that if the item that was taken out does not have the lever pulled immediately, in an hour, it would cause a nuclear explosion. So he should have just went ahead and pulled the fucking lever.
Right, pull the fucking lever.
But now things are going to go kablooey. I'm just saying.
And that's the end of Stranger Tales. That's the end of the Marvel
Everyone, cops, Human Torch, even some villains like the Wizard, who they actually show.
Yeah, I saw that. Hey.
Everybody wants to hunt down this box and try and save the city, because everyone obviously lives in this city, and they're like, yo, if things blow up, we're fucked.
I like that. Usually, these are the smart villains. These are some smart villains. These villains, I want to take over the world, blow up the world. Like, no, we live on this planet, bro.
Like, chill. We all want to rule, and I get it, but for fuck's sake, if it's not here... Impossible.
We're not about to do... I'm going to blow up half a chunk of New York. Bro, chill. I live in New York. I get my hot dog.
So,
I got my newspaper.
Torch gets this device that reads the Eel signature from the scientist that created this bomb. And he uses it and finds who he thinks is the Eel. He throws a fireball at him, and it turns out to be the Thing, who's walking around with a letter that was written by the Eel, so it's picking up the signature from the letter. Which pisses Thing off. He's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, that's some Stranger Tales shit. He went, flame, fireball, bam!
Right.
Bitch, what?
So then, and also, by the way, something else I'm absolutely loving about Johnny Storm, all of his villains seem to really love writing him letters. Right,
like their pen pals.
Because Asbestos Man did it as well. He wrote him a letter.
The dude from the Carnival did it as well. From I think that's the first one.
The Ringmaster.
The Ringmaster. Oh my god.
Yeah, people just love writing Johnny Storm letters.
I thought, and for a minute, I swear I thought Namor sent him one too.
Villains love to write him letters, and then
he just shits the bed.
The women in the series
wants to sleep with him.
Wants to keep him in their dimensions or other planets or wherever he shows up.
Right, it's always dimensions.
I don't know.
And then somehow Fantastic Four.
How does he not have some sort of weird alien baby running around?
I'm surprised he doesn't on the Maury show. And then the Fantastic Four, they're like, you know what? We're not going to help you. Maybe help you. Sometimes help you.
I now need a Jerry Springer episode with all of his alien girlfriends.
They're like, oh, you're from that last planet. Yeah, hey, that day.
I'm from Miniature Micro World, or whatever the fuck it was called.
Right. You know that day that you and Ant-Man did that? You put a baby in me. What? Flame on. He flames.
All right, that's
what his flame actually works.
So Torch then leaves Thing there, and he runs into the Eel, who's in a helicopter.
Okay,
Torch takes the chopper down, and after a short back and forth, Eel tells him where the item is hidden because he realizes he can't actually.
Well, because Eel's not even a villain; he's just
he's kind of a bitch.
No, he's just an aquarium worker. I'm just a worker.
Right. Well, he is the villain.
No,
he's just not smart.
I'm just an aquarium worker. I work in the zoo.
Torch rushes, grabs it, takes it up high into the sky where it explodes. He absorbs the energy, but it knocks him out in the process.
Oh, you bitch.
And he falls, and Mr. Fantastic ends up saving him.
I would have involved.
The team is upset because Johnny's pretty much dying. The nuclear explosion has tore apart his molecules within his body.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And so during this point, TV personality apologizes on air, saying he's like, yo, look, I was really just jealous of how popular the Torch is.
No, so sure.
But I don't think the Torch is actually going to make it. Thank you, Torch, for saving our wonderful city. Meanwhile, Mr. Fantastic is using some sort of weird molecular revitalizing ray.
And then we get back to the bullshit. Where you just happen to have that on you?
No, he didn't have it on him. He took him to the lab.
Oh, I mean, I have it on you, but I'm like, I'm saying, like, did you just happen to have that in your lab for this?
But
this
yeah,
design?
so Mr. Fantastic Man, also known as Bruce Richards,
right? Because you have this shit here. Okay,
makes the shit that he needs to, do things. However, the ray ends up working. Johnny starts to make a full recovery, causing everyone except for the villains to rejoice.
Of course.
The villains were like, "Aw, we could have. It could have been the unfortunate 3 instead of the Fantastic 4."
Yo.
And then it could have changed his name, like Mr. Unfortunate. It could
Mr.
be
Unfortunate, Invisible Unfortunate Girl or something.
The Unfortunate Car.
Just unfortunate. You're just an unfortunate mistake.
The Baxter Building gets changed to the Whack Building.
The Whack Building.
Anyways, so
it's still broke.
Yeah, Thing and Torch jokingly start to give each other shit, and that's how the issue ends. I gave this a 3 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
I thought it was a decent story. It was actually one that we hadn't had before.
Yeah.
Which I will always praise Human Torch for doing, because most of the time it's stories we have had before.
Or 1 out of 5. Only reason I get 2 out of 5 is because that death thing did kind of helped a little bit with what the story was boosting. Because I was like, wow, that's probably the one out of like thousands of smart things he has done. He don't get too many smart things.
He actually risked his life.
Right.
Now he's done a lot of smart things, but he's also done a lot of
dumb,
really
dumb shit things too. And that's what I said. That's one out of like 1,000 things that has like caused where it's like, what are you doing? How are you doing this, sir? You are the Human Torch. Do some shit. You got Reed Richards grabbing your ass and throwing you on the ground.
And where do we go from Strange Tales? How about Strange Tales Annual #2?
Annual, right?
This is Human Torch on the trail of the Amazing Spider-Man. This is actually a really fun one. I had a lot of fun reading this.
Oh, yeah,
it still wasn't great, but
no.
It was a lot of fun.
It's a strange tale. Think about it.
This was published June 1st, 1963, written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by Steve Ditko.
Let's go.
All right. So the characters we're going to have in this one, Spider-Man, Johnny Storm, / the Human Torch, Invisible Girl, and a villain by the name of Fox.
Yeah. Fox.
I wonder if he's got a partner named Mulder. Or no, that Mulder is Fox. It's Fox Mulder. Scully.
Scully. I was hold on. X-Files that shit, bro.
That's what I was trying to do.
Right, you was really trying.
I fucked it all up.
You fucked it up.
Anyways.
I was like, wait. Okay, I was gonna go with it.
He's gonna go with it.
Hey, you know what? Even though he fucked up X-Files, I like watching X-Files. I was like, sure, totally.
At least I knew I fucked up when it happened.
I don't give a fuck. I know I fucked up. We can just keep it going.
So, we start with Torch doing some training with Sue. And then afterwards, Johnny gets irritated that Spidey seems to get all of the headlines in New York.
Because he is a G.
It's because he's a menace. He's a public menace.
Yeah.
No.
I'm a gangster. That's why. I'm a Chad. Who are you?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Let y'all know about Young Jock.
I love the H. I missed that song.
Anyways, meanwhile, a villain named Fox plans to steal some Da Vinci painting. He cuts the power to the place, and then his crew comes in as electricians. While they repair the electric, they also end up stealing the painting in the process, but they leave a piece of webbing attached to the frame.
You know, I've never seen villains like this. This is probably the first time I see villains actually come in like... I mean, maybe I'm like wrong.
It was actually
this is actually pretty interesting how they did villains like this.
Smart street level villain,
right? To come up as
it's not even just coming in as electricians, but also leaving webbing behind to make you
think that Spider-Man was
like Spider-Man
took the painting. Right?
I was like, okay,
yeah,
because everybody's already kind of like Spidey might be a bad guy.
Well, yeah, he let the fucking building kaboom, and then he ain't saving people. He's not really doing that shit.
So after the news gets out, Spidey decides he needs to help clear his name, so he goes to the Human Torch, who immediately starts a fight with him.
Right.
Spidey leads him to a cement mixer where he turns Torch into a statue, and then he gets away to a nearby lab where he creates webbing specifically for the Torch.
Oh, God. See, he Batman. This is why Spider-Man is
Spider-Man's smart though.
Sorry, but
he creates it as he needs it.
As he needs it, yeah.
Batman was just like, oh, You're a fire villain? Good thing my suit's fireproof.
And I got a water gun, too.
Oh, you've got sharks? Here's my bat shark suit repellent.
Psst.
Or bat shark repellent. Like, come the fuck on.
And I got a suit
and do not get
for
me
the
wrong,
sharks, too.
He's my second favorite hero.
Right.
I'm just saying...
But Spider-Man, at the time, before we got all these other smart people, he was like, well, I think he was the smartest person for like 30 years before more people started showing up.
Right.
Because he didn't want to whim to like, okay, he got flame. I'm gonna make like some water arrow or water webbing or something.
Right.
So
Torch also breaks out of the statue and begins looking for Spidey. After Spidey is done, he finds Torch, challenges him again.
Don't do it.
Leads him on a brief chase
right.
where Spidey turns around and sticks Torch to a web. Where at which point he explains what is going on. Torch doesn't believe him. Spider asks why he'd come straight to Torch if, he actually did anything wrong.
Right.
And he dips. Basically leaves the Torch there. At which point the Torch eventually gets out and tells the cops. He's like, yo, stop looking for Spidey until I figure some shit out.
Yeah, because you can't fight him because you can't run the ones on him.
Right.
Spider was like, hey, Spider-Man has beat his ass 2-0 right now.
Right.
2-0, bro.
So... he ends up going to the police department where he talks with, like, the head chief or whoever the fuck it is.
Right.
And that officer ends up telling him, hey, another robbery happened about an hour ago. And Torch is like, well, then I know it's not Spidey because him and I were playing footsie. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He called it playing footsie.
He'd call it ass whooping. Yep. This is why Stranger Tales gets 1s out of 5 right now. Some shit right there, man.
So then the cop tells him that it seems like the kind of thing a villain by the name of Fox would do. I actually did that on purpose.
Nice. No, I seriously did that. I seriously did that, friend.
So Torch gets a hold of Spidey using his flame sky.
Oh, now you catch up to him?
No, he writes his name in the sky.
Oh, he writes it. I thought
he's like, Spidey, I need your help.
I know, bitch.
Torch.
And I would be like, no.
So then Spider-Man uses the Statue of Liberty's flame to send his he brightens up his Spidey signal with it. Right. I don't know how that works.
That's some Batman signal. Hey, he got a Batman signal too?
Right. So then Spidey uses his spider sense to track down Fox, and Spidey helps an old lady in the subway, who is actually the Fox. And Fox traps Spidey's hands in cement on this case that he gives him, and then runs off because Torch approaches. So Torch frees Spider-Man, and they end up chasing after Fox.
Right.
Spidey finds a trap door that leads to a hideout where he almost gets hit by a train, which scared the shit out of Human Torch, which was hilarious.
Right. Oh my god.
He was like, dude, don't ever do that again.
He said, whoa, this is getting too intense. I'm not comfortable with this shit. Like, don't do that again. He said, I'm Spider Chad. I don't give a shit, bro. Do you know who I am? That's what he says. I'm Batman. I'm Spider-Man. It's flip out.
So then they travel from hideout to hideout until they get to the very last one, at which point they find a secret exit, and they run into Fox, who's dressed up as somebody trying to sell telescope views.
Right, he's really like this camouflage-looking motherfucker that likes doing shit.
They catch him pretty easily.
Right.
At which point, was it Spidey? I don't remember which one. One of them opened up the telescope and found the painting. I think it was Human Torch, because I think Spidey was the one that actually caught him.
Right.
And then,
Spider-Man said, I'll do your job while you actually do your job.
Right. And then together they walk Fox back to the police station, and that's how it ends. Again, not a bad issue. Not great.
Nah. I gave it a 2 out of 5.
I gave it a 3 as well.
Maybe 2.
It was very mid. And
I mean, don't get me wrong. These comics are good. It's just that they're okay.
We need some Thanos. No. I know. There needs to be some build-up. I'm just saying, at some point, would love me some Thanos.
Well, I'm just saying, like, well, Spider-Man. Well, you knew what this was when Spider-Man showed up.
We haven't had a Hulk comic in like 3-4 weeks, dude. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, we talked about that work, bro.
I mean, he does show up today in the comic. But
yeah, he does. But we haven't had like a solo.
We haven't had a
last time we saw the Hulk, he was he was hiding in the cave. He was still back in the cave. Then he went back in his cave, right?
Oh well, no. Because if you remember last time we seen the Hulk, he had found the way to control changing.
Right, control changing.
However, it was starting to not work anymore because he was doing it too often.
Right. That was like the last time. So yeah, okay. I was wondering like when was the last time we saw him? Right, because he's like, oh, it worked. Then it was acting kind of like wonky on him. Right. Okay. Next one's I think Journey to Mystery, isn't it? No, it's
actually,
Medusa.
Nope.
No.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen,
Fantastic Four.
The Fantastic Four annual.
Their annual,
which was really long.
Nice.
But one of my favorite stories we've read so far.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite stories we've read so far. So some people you're going to meet. Well, before we get there, it's called Submariner versus the Human Race.
That title.
Published July 2nd, 1963. Written by Stan Lee. Penciled by Jack Kirby. Inked by Dick Ayers.
Just for the record, this guy would have been my MVP if it was me picking it. Just for the record, this dude.
This is obviously featuring the Fantastic Four,
Yep.
who you see here: Thing, Human Torch, Invisible Girl, and Mr. Fantastic. It also has Prince Namor, Dorma, and Krang.
Bro, this was like Avenger level type threat, bro. Like, I was shocked this was Avengers issue number 2. Because he was really coming for it, bro.
We weren't supposed to get to the next one yet. I clicked a button prematurely. All right. So, we begin with Prince Namor having found his people and being praised as Prince Namor.
Right.
And he's preparing to take over humanity. Dorma is excited to be Namor's wife. Krang's mad because she was originally going to marry him, but since Namor found them, she is now...
Now, are these the people that were trapped in the equator of the Earth?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay, I thought those are...
Not different.
Different
Atlanteans. And let's be real. I don't think...
Iron Man one.
Well, no, I don't think...
What, Namor?
No, Lee. Lee. Fuck's sake, the guy that created Marvel. Stan Lee. Jesus Christ, dude, my mind shit on itself. I don't think Stan Lee was really good at keeping things, like, cohesive starting off.
Right, okay, I thought maybe
and to be fair, though, he was dealing with making a lot of different stories for a lot of different people.
Right, okay, well, yeah. He wants some Hulk, got some Iron Man, got some more Fantastic Four, all that shit. No, okay, I got you. All right, cool.
So, yeah, Krang's mad because she was actually originally going to marry him.
Yeah, whatever.
Meanwhile, Torch and the Thing are horseplaying around, destroying a bunch of shit until Reed stops them, and then Reed decides that they're all going to take a vacation to a place where people are reporting weird monster creature shows.
May I just say, what the fuck, bro? Why y'all just showing shit?
That's what they do, dude. This is going to be them literally for the next 40 years.
God, what the fuck?
In comics. Until he actually dies. Torch, that is.
Yeah, he needs to.
He'll eventually come back as well. It's some weird shit.
Yeah, you told me about that. He actually dies. He actually takes it as a Stranger Tales?
No, it's not a Stranger Tales that he dies in.
Oh, it's just a straight up Fantastic Four?
It's a Fantastic Four. He eventually dies. Spider-Man takes his place, and they become the Future Foundation, and they all wear white suits.
Whoa.
It's actually pretty cool.
Interesting. Cool. Wow.
And then eventually Johnny comes back. Right. I don't know how.
He got retcon back in.
So anyways, they're all going to go... And let's be real, we all know anytime the Fantastic Four or anybody seems to go on vacations, it never goes well.
It's not a vacation.
I mean, I just watched Spider-Man Far From Home tonight. He goes on vacation. It gets fucked up.
Right.
I mean, we watched the Fantastic Four. This will be the second time they get fucked up on vacation.
Right.
Last week we saw Ant-Man and Wasp get fucked up on vacation. I'm
Even
just saying,
superheroes
stop taking vacations. It does not work out for you.
Right. And then remember, we saw in the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Hero, they were trying to take some, like, a vacation, just chilling. And then the Bifrost, the Cosmic Cube shit happened. I'm like, oh, wow. No vacation for nobody.
Right. Yeah, just don't take vacations. If you're a superhero...
No, vacations are... What?
Relaxing is not allowed.
Mm-mm. What is that?
So, Alicia pops up, says she's going to go too, which is cool, but she doesn't really show up again much for the rest of the comics for whatever fucking reason.
Man.
I thought she was going to have a big part to play in the story.
Nope,
she really
nope. And it creeped the fuck out of me when she actually kind of startled me. Cause like, where you come from?
She came from the shadows.
Bitch, bro. It startled. I was like, whoa.
To be fair, she doesn't know where she's standing. That's why it's creepy. She's blind.
And I should have...
She just kind of stands around, and eventually when she hears things, she's like, hey.
Like our coworker.
I see what you're doing, kind of.
This is like a coworker.
And I need to go with you. So they're all on an ocean liner, enjoying life.
Right.
We've got Thing and Alicia sitting in lawn chairs.
Which I don't know how his big ass...
Thing's lawn chair keeps breaking. He's not happy about it.
Yeah, no shit. I'm like, how is your big ass... You a rock, bro.
And then we've got Reed and Sue canoodling in the pool.
Yeah, they're just doing their thing.
They got their arms wrapped around each other, sitting in a pool, being all,
Human Torch is going to make Stranger Tales.
Human Torch is like, I'm going to go jump off the ship.
it makes Stranger Tales and
then he
150 out this bitch.
He finds him a girl, and he's like, yo, I'm going to follow her.
All right, and make another Stranger Tales with her.
At which point, he decides to look out into the water, where he sees some weird fucking creatures.
Right, come out nowhere. Yeah, they come up.
So they head out. Namor ends up capturing them pretty easily.
Oh, yeah. Barely convenience.
And then he tells them that the sea and sky above the sea is now his domain and no one is to ever be in his space.
Oh, shit.
He then sends them back to the Baxter building on some sort of weird squid jellyfish machine gun
he said,
thing.
get the fuck out. He threw them bitches and get out.
And then the ocean liner basically gets turned into a torpedo and sent back to fucking...
Right.
It's like...
Right. And then what it was.
Like most of us skip rocks, he skipped a whole fucking ocean liner. He's like, here you go. Go back home.
Hey, he said, get the fuck out of my ocean, bro. Hey, Namor was a savage. First of all, he didn't give a fuck. Bro, they all could have died in this situation. Except for the thing. But all the rest of them probably could have been seriously injured, bro. He threw it like a pitch. He went, bah! Back to the Baxter building.
So... Later, Reed meets with the UN where he tells them that what Namor said, and he's like, a guy comes up and gives us a brief history of Atlantis, where we find out that they evolved at the same time humans did. They were around with humans, except eventually, technologically, they doubled our advances.
Right.
Probably because they weren't busy fighting each other, because humans are stupid.
Yeah, we're just... Right, they were too busy making peace and love, not war. They actually took the word, make peace and love, not war. They actually really ran with that.
So later... some humans destroy some icebergs to clear out some ocean space, which destroys some of the Atlantis.
Right.
So then the king at the time sends his daughter Finn to the surface, where she falls in love and marries Captain Mackenzie, who's the main guy on the ocean liner.
Right.
The Atlanteans are not happy about this. They end up killing
human.
They end up killing him.
Wow.
But then we also find out that she was already pregnant,
right?
Which gives birth to Namor. Namor is the first and only Atlantean that can both breathe air and water because of this fact.
Fucking A, he's Aquaman. I like it. Even
though
Namor came first. Yeah, he came first.
By a whole, 3 to 6 months.
Right. It does make you wonder, because, that same shit is literally, except the fact that they're both alive, but that same shit's literally what Aquaman is. God damn it. DC be talking too much shit.
Continuity-wise, again, Stan Lee. So we're just now going to forget that Namor was imprisoned in Atlantis.
Right, he was.
And Fantastic Four set him free.
Yeah, because something happened, Right. It caused him to get free. That was the fifth issue.
He's gone from being a jailed criminal
to now
he's the prince. And everybody recognizes him. I'm just saying...
I knew you were going to say some shit.
Does not make sense.
Right. Because he was in, I think that was issue number 6. He was in a prison, and then they did some bullshit that he's free. Now it's like, you're the prince. Yeah. Right. Okay. Give me my trident.
Now, Reed says that they have to fight, and one of the UN guys reveals himself to actually be Namor.
Of course.
He runs out and calls for his people to invade the world. They thoroughly take over. And
it was very convenient.
Basically, they take over the whole world. Really easily.
Really, very inconvenient, bro.
At which point, Thing gets sent out to collect a couple of the Atlanteans.
Bro, you would think Thing would be sent out to go collect some Avengers. This is why I said, this is an Avenger-level threat. I don't understand. What the fuck, bro?
Right.
They just took over. I was like, wait, what? Oh, okay.
Well, so, like I said, he goes out and picks up some, Thing picks up some of the guys, brings them back in. And Reed realizes that they're wearing masks with water to breathe.
Right.
So he creates a machine that will evaporate all the water within those masks.
They can go back to the... Yeah.
In the process, the machine falls on Reed because it's not balanced properly. He ends up getting semi-hurt.
See, this was Spider-Man should have came in I got you. Boom. Hello.
And he has to sit out the fight while Sue and Thing fix the machine and end up using it. Once used, all of the Atlanteans return back to the ocean except for Namor. And Namor's like, all right, I know who did this. So Namor confronts Reed, turns him into a human punching bag. Literally, dude, he steps on his foot.
Yo, yes.
And he starts punching him.
Gave him the 12-piece combo. Oh my God, somebody.
Right. And then the other Fantastic Four come in and chase him off.
After a beat.
On his way out, he captures Sue. Of course, Sue.
Of course. And this is when I knew where this comic was actually going. I said, damn it!
Johnny finds where Sue is at.
Of course.
And Namor meets him outside the water.
No, fuck that. We're going back in the water. No.
Torch,
a big ass flame ball.
Torch is about to be eaten by a giant plant-like
That would have
vacuum
been the
cleaner
funniest
creature.
shit.
Reed and Thing show up. An epic back and forth happened between the Fantastic Four and Namor, and Fantastic Four's little water vehicle gets damaged in the process.
No.
Meanwhile, Dorma gets mad because Sue's being captured and held inside a submarine. And Dorma gets pissed because Sue cares for Namor and the Fantastic Four. She also realizes Namor cares for her.
Oh, yeah.
So she ends up breaking the window of the sub to try and suffocate Sue. Savage.
She went, bam! I was like, okay.
Sue ends up swimming out of the window.
That was pretty stupid, girl. I mean, Savage was pretty stupid because she was going to get up out of that bitch.
Thing and Namor end up fighting inside the water, and as they continue to fight, they see her amidst some algae.
Right.
And they both rush over to help her. Namor rushes her to his ship, where he kicks everyone out and goes and gets Sue to the hospital.
Right.
Meanwhile, the Fantastic Four repair their vehicle. They rush back as well to go see her. She's laying in bed. She's fine. Namor had already left. He goes back home, and when he gets home, he realizes that the place had been abandoned, and Namor is on his own once again. He
turned his back on his people.
Saved someone he cares about, even if at this point it's not romantically,
right?
Because he realizes he's already kind of fucked that up,
right?
But still saving somebody he cares about, just in general, caused his people to turn their back on him.
Right, like you can't just. But see that because Namor will be a hero eventually, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
he does turn into.
He becomes an Avenger.
He becomes an Avenger. Okay, because it's like this.
He never trusts humans ever.
Yeah, I kind of forget.
Even as a hero.
No. He has that. That's like a little personal thing because y'all been attacking his shit for like so long. I know, I get that. No, I'm not gonna say trust. I'm just saying like it's like one of those slowly things that he's probably trying to find something like should he help certain people or do shit or go back to doing whatever. So it's one of those like play on things that he's trying to think about in his head.
I gave this a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5 because I was wondering where the fuck everybody was at.
I also give this issue my personal issue of the week that we read. I think it's the best issue we read.
Yeah, no. This was the best one because Namor.
Even with the Avengers having their first comic, this one was just story-wise Namor doing what he did,
right,
so easily.
Right, took over. Took over.
Read outsmarted him. The Fantastic Four, if they're going to win, they should. That's just how comics are written.
Yeah, no shit. They should. I hope to God they win.
But the way they did it, and the way everything happened, dude, I'm telling you now, watching Namor legit use Reed Richards as a punching bag,
right, and then
was so epic.
And then have them come, but like have the 3 Fantastic Four members come. I'm like, bro, by that time he got beat the fuck up, bro.
Who I want to see fight.
What?
There's been 2 people that have beaten the Fantastic Four, and I want to see them 2 go at it.
Besides Doom. Doom?
No, Doom hasn't beaten the Fantastic Four.
No, he's been leaving. Yeah, you're right. He's been running.
I want to see Spider-Man and Namor go at it.
He will win. Spider-Man might win that shit.
We don't know.
He might win that. I say he might. I didn't say he would. It'd be difficult, but I think he could get that. I think he would get that dub.
It'd be a fun fight.
That would actually be a fun fight. It'd be better than watching Human Torch and Namor. Good God. Man.
There's a B story to this.
There's another
that we were supposed to read, and literally, it's the Fabulous Fantastic Four meet the Spider-Man.
Which is now.
This is quite literally just a retelling of the meeting between them from Spider-Man's very first issue of the Spider-Man comic. There's a couple extra pains of fighting. Honestly, it's not necessary to revisit.
And you see their past villains too.
Story-wise, nothing changes. No. Like they show a couple extra scenes of the fight that weren't in the original comic, which is cool if you want to go down that route.
Right.
But over and above all,
it was okay.
I gave it a 1 out of 5 because it just wasn't needed.
Yeah, I didn't care.
It was not needed any way, shape, or form. It was.
They were like, "Hey, you like this? Now watch the Fantastic Four's point of view." I was like, "Sure."
Yeah, wasn't
nothing interesting at all.
So then the next issue that we're going to be covering is Journey into Mystery number 96, and this actually has 2 stories that go along with it.
Right.
The first one is called Defying the Magic of Mad Merlin.
Hey.
And then the next issue is called Call Her Medusa.
Right.
This was published September 1st, 1963. Written, issue A was Stanley and R. Burns. Story A is Stanley R. Burns. Story C is Stanley and Larry Lieber. Story A is penciled and inked by Joe Sinnott.
Right.
Story C is penciled by Larry Lieber, inked by Paul Reinman.
And fun fact, we haven't seen Medusa since the 2nd issue?
Something like that.
Some 2nd or 3rd issue? Right.
So some characters, obviously we'll talk about A's story first. Some characters we're going to see: Dr. Donald Blake / Thor, Jane Foster, Merlin, and Loki. Also, Shout out, dude. Have you noticed that the art's starting to get even better as it goes?
Like they look more,
and I'm loving the way things are panning out.
They look more human. I mean, they look more. They don't look like mush. They look actually like they took detail and work with it.
Like they're starting to add detail to people's faces and things like that,
that's pretty
really
cool. That is pretty cool.
So story A, we start with Thor, who's rushing back to his office where Jane has been left with some clients because he had to go save a bus that had fallen in a river. He walks in, gets scolded because everyone has left, and Jane basically says he has no sense of responsibility. Because obviously she doesn't know what he's doing. Like, if anything, what he was doing was more important than dealing with... But again, she doesn't know that.
That's fine.
And he can't tell her because Odin's already told him no.
Yeah, Odin, like, what, last
Odin's the real villain in this story.
Right. That was, like, last issue, right? He said no.
No, that was way long ago. That was early on.
That was, like...
Because they were going to do it in, like, the third Thor story.
Right, and yeah, Odin told him, like, no, you can't show your power off to him because, that's... No. Okay,
right.
right.
So on the radio, we get news reports of Thor saving a bus and then a report of Merlin's coffin arriving in town to be examined. Meanwhile, at the museum, experts open up the coffin, revealing that Merlin's body is in pristine condition. They leave to talk about what they have seen, and Merlin wakes up.
Right.
He pulled a hap-tap and placed himself in a deep slumber and now wants to find JFK to work with him because at this time JFK was president as of the writing of this comic.
Right. Because it was 1963 still?
Yeah. So he reveals that he made Arthur's court believe that the magic was in the items that were used.
Right.
However, it was him that was actually controlling the magic. He teleports to Cape Dior and causes a satellite rocket to go off course. Now, this is where I kind of have issues with them using Merlin in this way, because we'd read a story
that he was
a few weeks ago because he actually made our MVP for that week
because he was the one I picked, right?
And they made him seem like a good person,
and now
they're painting him as a villain, which is just
now this goes back to what you said about continuity. Now, like, what is this? Yeah, I was kind of confused.
Unless he was, but then again, if you also think about it, he was seen as a hero by King Arthur.
King Arthur.
So he never, like, at least here they can explain it as he just never revealed his evil side to King Arthur.
Well, and the thing is, though, Merlin just woke up into a place. Oh well, he already knows. Never mind. Okay, so he knows what year this is. I'm assuming because he said JFK. Like,
well, I mean, that doesn't mean he knows what year it is. He just reads a newspaper and it says.
Oh, okay. So he's basically like Captain America. He's like, he opens up and now it's like, I am now 40 billion years into the future now. Like, what's going on?
But yeah.
So it's kind of like one of those. He's a
couple hundred.
Fish in a big pond
1,000
situation.
Years. It was 1,000 years.
It was 1,000 years? Yeah, 1,000 years. He's like a fish in a big pond. He don't know what's going on.
Right.
So I can't really give him the villain. I hear what you're saying. I can't really give him that villain tendencies if we're like, he doesn't know what's going on.
He's intending to do villainous tendencies.
Okay.
He made that abundantly clear. He was like, I'm gonna take over. That's his goal. So anyways, Thor comes, fixes the rocket. He pushes it back into orbit where it's supposed to be going.
Right.
And Merlin's like, you know what? In order to do what I want to do, now I need to stop Thor.
Right.
So Thor goes to Asgard, asks Loki what the fuck he's doing, and Loki's
you know what? That would be the first. No, but be real. That's the first one I will go to. Loki, what the fuck?
And Loki's like, yo, bruh, not me this time.
He should have put the hand.
If he wasn't chained to a wall, he probably would have put his hands up. Like, not me this time.
Because he's been in prison. Like 2 issues.
Like, I have tried to fuck with you, and now I'm stuck here.
Right. There's the reason why I'm stuck here. I try to fuck your whole entire world up, bro. And nope, I'm chained up now. Thank you, sir.
So
that's a.
But he does tell Thor. He's like, it's Loki or not Loki. It's Merlin.
Merlin. No, he told him straight up. It was Merlin.
So Thor. So no one believes Merlin is who he says he is.
Oh, and we go back, and really that's a callback. It's like, you're not Merlin, want to bet?
Until he teleports around, and people are like, oh, he really is Merlin.
Oh, I would have done some off the wall. I would have left the building.
Thor happens to find him and attacks him. A battle of wits ensues, and every single thing Merlin throws at Thor finds a way to stop it.
Right.
Merlin starts to believe that Thor is a magician himself, and at this point, Thor comes up with actually a really smart plan that I was not expecting. So Thor turns himself back into Donald Blake and tells Merlin he can take thousands more forms. Lying to him. Straight up lying to the motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. Be like, hey, I got more
But
forms.
he's like, I could turn into anything. He's like, your strength, your magic is nowhere near my power.
And Merlin's like, shit.
You win.
You win.
White flag. What do you want me to do?
Right. I ain't gonna turn into a dragon or nothing. I mean, fuck that.
And he's like, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go lay back down in your coffin, take a potion, don't come back for another 1,000 years. And Merlin's like, but how can I trust you? How do I know you won't kill me? He's like, on my honor, you will not die. Get in your fucking coffin.
So Merlin was like...
So, Thor has it sealed to make sure that it never opens again. And we end with Jane, however, praising Donald Blake's ability to never lose anyone during surgery, because apparently we didn't get to see any of the surgery, but he successfully completed a surgery.
It was
and Jane's
a surgery?
like, good job! And she even makes a comment. She's like, it's like you're a magician.
Right.
And he's like, you have no idea.
Right, bitch. I got powers. I could tap my cane and I become this big buff-looking motherfucker.
I gave the story a 4 as well. I really liked it.
Yeah, I gave it 4. It was cool. It was cool. I enjoyed it.
Speaking of 4s.
And Merlin was literally like, yo, I'm not about to contest this shit. I'm going to drink a potion and I'm going back to bed. That's what he said. I did my shit. Thor came down, did his shit. I drank some shit, and now I'm going back to sleep and shit. That's what all that happened.
So, story C, call her Medusa.
Oh, yeah, Medusa.
There are only 2 things you need to know. You need to know who the Gorgons are, who you can see on the screen, and you need to know who the humans are.
Right.
Now, for some fun. I love these little short stories they do.
Oh, yeah.
They're always done really well.
This is just a short story, yeah.
We start with a professor teaching kids about the Gorgons.
Mm-hmm.
And the most famous one being Medusa, and how she was defeated by Perseus. Meanwhile, the Gorgons, who are an alien race, are watching from their planet and plan to invade to take over Earth, which is a normal thing that happens in Marvel Comics.
Right.
They
had to hypnotize.
They send a scout ship out, and the Gorgon arrives on Earth. She walks up to one guy, reveals her face, and says, you know, fear me. I am
Medusa.
Well, she doesn't say.
Oh, say Medusa.
She's like, I am a Gorgon or some shit like that.
Right.
And the guy just sits there and smiles at her, staring right in her eyes.
The one place you're not supposed to stare.
Right. So
He's
she
like,
goes.
I gotcha.
So she goes over to the next guy, and the same thing happens. So she leaves and radios back to her planet. Yo, our powers don't work on these Earthlings anymore. We're not going to be able to be
because they
successful
all
here.
been hit by Jeb out this bitch.
She's like, they're now immune to our power.
Yep.
And actually, what we find out is that the 2 guys she approached were blind people at a blind school, so they can't even see her. I read this and lost my shit, dude. Because I was like...
I gave it a 5 out of 5, bro. That was like, funny as shit.
I gave it a 4 out of 5.
I gave it a 5 out of 5. That's funny.
Definitely hilarious.
It don't work.
And, oh, dude. It's one of those things where it's just like... How, like, of all the places on Earth to land, you legit land in the one place.
Bro, I feel like somebody was like doing hygiene comics or something. Like, what the?
But yeah, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. Good comment.
Okay, 5 out of 5. Yeah, that was a good one.
And now,
and it had me laugh. I laughed, bro. It doesn't work. We gotta go. They're blind. Nobody gonna say they're blind. All this smartness, you would think all these aliens like they got blindness, don't they? Like, nah. Let's go. We're going back home.
And our last story is the Avengers #1.
Which was better than the X-Men? I like the X-Men one, but this one...
I actually like the X-Men one more than this one.
Really? Okay.
I rated them both the same.
Oh, okay.
Well,
but personally, you would take the X-Men issue 1.
This is called The Coming of the Avengers, published September 1st, 1963, written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by Dick Ayers. The cover already annoys the shit out of me, though.
That's why I knew that was going to happen.
Here's my problem. You have, and it says above the Avengers, it says Thor, Ant-Man, Hulk, and Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. There's no cap.
You can't mention the Wasp.
Or the Wasp.
She's on the cover. I'm looking at her flying right here next to Ant-Man.
You know
and
what?
You can't mention the Wasp. It's only Come on.
To be fair, he said he don't know how to write women, so.
He apparently doesn't know how to write covers.
Right. Wasp probably got like 3 seconds in this damn comic. I'm just kidding. She got more, but it's...
So, some people we're going to see in this issue, obviously, Iron Man, Hulk, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Thor, who are the starting Avengers. We're also going to have the Fantastic Four make a small cameo. Odin's in this.
Yep. Hey, we got Odin, yeah.
Rick Jones is in this.
Yep.
Which I have that way uncensored. It was not uncensored on the actual thing. The thing pushed it over. Thank you for that, motherfuckers.
Dang it.
Loki is also in this.
Yep.
Loki being the main villain, which, by the way, I loved that ran parallel with the first Avengers movie in the MCU.
Right, that's how I liked it.
Now, obviously, nothing happened in this comic that happened.
No. Yeah, it's just.
But it was cool seeing Loki be the first villain for the Avengers on the comics and in the MCU. I was unaware because I have not read through all these old school comics.
Right, first time.
So it makes me happy.
He was the first. I think I asked you. I said, "Oh, he's their first villain." Nice.
I do know who their second villain is, though.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Who's the second villain?
Dr. Doom.
Ah, dope. That's
all
what's
right.
up.
So we start off with Loki trying to find someone that can start some shit with Thor. And he finds the Hulk, because if anybody could start shit with anybody,
see?
Hey,
and I said, hey, reason why we haven't seen the Hulk? Bam! He's in the Avengers. That's why.
Right. He makes Hulk destroy some train tracks with some illusions. And now all of a sudden, everybody's going to be like, oh, Hulk bad.
But see, that was like that in the Avengers movie. It's like, you're going for the Hulk? Yep. That'd be the most easiest one. The one that gets the most hot tempered would be him.
Right. So Rick Jones goes to his teen brigade to get a message out to the Fantastic Four. However, Loki intercepts the transmission and sends it elsewhere.
Right.
Where it reaches, Loki was the cause of his own doom.
Once again, and that's another thing. Loki is his own catalyst. They all said it. He's his own catalyst.
Loki's interception ends up pushing the transmission out to where it reaches Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right.
Anthony Stark.
All at the same time.
And Thor.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep. They do finally get a hold of the Fantastic Four, but the Fantastic Four is like, yo, we're too busy. Unless you absolutely need us. If you get to the point where you absolutely need us,
then
we can come help. But for right now, if you could take care of it, leave us the fuck alone.
Right, they still doing superhero shit, I guess. Right.
Yeah. So our heroes do show up.
Yep.
And Thor thinks he sees what is Hulk running around outside. So he dives out the window while everyone's hanging out. And he hunts down and throws his hammer at Hulk, but it goes right through the Hulk.
Yep.
So at that point, he heads to Asgard because he's like, there's only one person that can make this kind of illusion.
And he gonna find out that Loki is gone.
Meanwhile, the Hulk is actually working in a circus, and people think he's a robot. Ant-Man is told by an ant about this, and they head to the circus where they confront Meccano.
Yeah.
Which is his robot name, apparently.
Nice.
After a short fight with Ant-Man and Wasp, Ant-Man tries to reason with the Hulk to no avail. Just as Hulk is about to squish Wasp, Iron Man shows up.
Can you imagine, dude?
Iron Man and Hulk go at it. The fight... Right. The fight... They fight, and it heads outside of the tent. Meanwhile, Thor is talking to Odin and wants to see Loki. And here's another weird moment. Odin is like, yo, I'll allow you to talk to Loki, but remember, you're both my sons, so I can't interfere. Bitch, I watched you choke Loki not even 3 fucking comics ago.
Choked him. Did he slap him too? No, he choked. He
choked the shit out of him. Like, you need to figure out if you love fucking Loki or not, Odin.
Because right now, I'm getting mixed minds right now, bro.
You were a major dick for the longest, and now you're like, I do care for him. He is my son.
Even though I got locked up in chains like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone out this bitch.
So after a quick battle involving some traps, including a troll trap.
Yep, a troll trap, yeah.
And there was also a multi-Loki image trap where he had a bunch of versions of himself out.
He likes doing that shit a lot, too.
Yeah.
That's like his MO.
Thor ends up beating him and wants to take him to Earth to let the other heroes beat up on him. I don't fucking know why.
Yeah, I don't know what was the point of... Okay, sure.
So during the Iron Man versus Hulk fight, Thor brings Loki to them. As Loki starts to escape, Ant-Man and the Wasp hit a trap door, dropping him into a radioactive oven.
Yeah, that was...
And they lock him inside of it.
Right.
Ant-Man and the Wasp then... Oh, I misspelled think. That says thing. Ant-Man and the Wasp then think they should just form a team.
Right, I'm saying like they were trying to form a team.
Everyone agrees. Even the Hulk, who's tired of being hunted, which they made him sound like such a bitch, dude. He's like, Hulk's tired of being hunted. I'll join you.
I would have been Audi 5000. Like, no, our Hulk would have just, well, no, not that Hulk, but the Edward Norton Hulk would just dipped out.
And then Wasp says they should call themselves the Avengers.
Bitch, where'd you come with that idea?
And Ant-Man's like, yo, that's a good name. And everyone's like, yay, we're the Avengers.
Because are you guys avenging the Earth? Like, what?
That was the end of the story. I did give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I give it 4 out of 5.
It was good.
It was entertaining. It was good. And I like Loki being the first villain.
Here's my problem. And this is just, okay, so you're telling me Wasp created the name, the Avengers, and you still can't put her on the cover?
Well, let me tell you, to be frank, she was about to get squashed in a minute. That's why I thought maybe this was about to be a whole different...
I get she's the newest superhero of this whole group.
This ragtag group of heroes.
That I can't wait for them to implode because it's going to happen.
Oh, well, like what and the Avengers do said, we're a time bomb because you got too many egos right now. Too many.
But yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I'm excited to see where the Avengers go, comic book wise.
Right.
It could be fun. Probably.
You said they fight Dr. Doom next, so that'd be fun.
I'm excited for that. Dr. Doom, so far, is my favorite villain that's actually shown up.
Right. Even though he leaves, he runs. The only thing about him, he it's like he picks his battles though. Like he knows that if it gets too crazy, he's gonna get the fuck out. He's gonna go.
He lives by the motto:
right.
Fight and run away, live to fight another day.
Like he didn't do like Pace Pop Pete and just said, even though he was surrounded by the hero. Pace Pop Pete
did that the first time.
And just
he was like,
dipped.
Bye.
Right. Bye.
All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you want to know who my MVP is, it is none other than, drum roll, Prince Namor.
And you just said it too. I said Namor was my MVP. He would have been my MVP.
He did make my MVP, and that does say 17. That is not 11. The 1 and 7 do look weirdly similar in this font. Also, if you've been watching these, this is the first time I've changed the number in the week 17 since like week 13.
Nice.
It has been week 13 MVP for like the last 5 weeks.
Damn.
Since the beginning. Week 13 was the first week we did it.
It was the first week, and now it's like, hey, I can change that bitch now.
And then it's like I remembered finally.
Right.
But I didn't remember to change Sandman to Dr. Doom. I don't know. Shit's fucked up.
Right. And you didn't say I knew we were going to have a problem with this shit.
So I chose Prince Namor. Again, he's the villain that did the most. He actually took over Earth for a very short time.
Right.
And had Reed Richards not been able to think on his feet and figure shit out quick
Beat
enough...
the shit out of him.
Like, it probably... we'd all be fucking Atlanteans at this point.
Right. And that's a what if. Hey.
And then second off, like, he risked losing his entire race to save somebody.
And he just, it's like he was perfect. It's like he was calm with it too. Like, you cool with the fact that your race is gone, bro? Like, right. Or not gone, but they
the
dipped
Atlanteans
out.
Dipped.
Dipped, not gone, but like they dipped, they left.
He's literally been trying to find these people.
And now they don't even want it. They don't want nothing to do with him.
First appearance. And now they're like, you know what? You care more about the humans than you
right.
do us. We're out. Howdy 2000.
Howdy 2000.
Peace, bitch. All right. So going back to the Marvel trivia question of the week. True or false, Loki assembles the supervillains who carry out the acts of vengeance to take down the Avengers and other heroes.
False?
It's actually true.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit.
It's a fun picture of Loki, by the way. I actually think that's the picture of Loki from one of the mobile games.
Nice.
And that's the last pane. There's more after that, but that's past stuff that I save to bring into.
Right.
It saves me time, basically. But yeah. So again, we actually had a pretty decent week, considering all things considered. The worst story not including the dumbass retelling of this fucking story from Spider-Man 1.
It had to be the Strange Tales.
It was probably the Strange Tales, and even then...
Not annually, but the
original Strange Tales.
Right, the original Strange Tales. Because Spider-Man was entertaining, even though...
And even then, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't...
It was a meh.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Overall, pretty decent week.
Right.
Now, what's funny is we actually have a week coming up that... on paper, does not look very entertaining.
Because this is all Strange Tales this week, isn't it?
No.
No, this ain't the Strange Tales.
Oh, wrong thing. You would think I'd have this shit down by now. So, next week, we are going to be checking out... Let me scroll down here. Tales of Suspense, number 45.
Right.
Which is going to be Iron Man versus the Icy Fingers of Jack Frost.
And perfectly summer for Christmas. There we go. We got something.
And then we've got Tales to Astonish, number 47, which is called Music to Scream By, which sounds fun, by the way. I'm just saying.
Your ears are going to hurt for life.
So I don't know who Ant-Man's fighting, but apparently it's on a piano.
Oh, God.
Then Human Torch fights somebody called the Plant Man. in Strange Tales number 113.
If he doesn't, bro, fire. Bro, he better win that. That's a dub. And if he loses, that's a problem.
Issue number 4 is going to be Prisoners of the Pharaoh, which is Fantastic Four number 19. So they're going to be fighting. They're going to be going back in time to fight Ramatut.
Sure.
Oh, wait, okay.
Right.
And then we're getting Journey into Mystery number 97, a story, which is just titled The Lava Man, Thor's going to be fighting some lava dude. And then we're also getting the B story in that, which is called Home of the Mighty Norse Gods.
That might be interesting.
Which is the legend. It's the Norsemen telling the creation of the world from fire and ice and the origin of the gods. It's basically going to be God history to fit in with everything that Thor's dealing with in terms of family and Asgardians and shit like that. And then we end on a note that I'm actually excited for. We're actually getting the first time Iron Man fights the Crimson Dynamo.
That's going to be fun.
Now, according to these people, it's ranked like a 3. As a matter of fact, all of them are ranked like a 3, so it's not shaping up, except for 2 of them. 2 of them are ranked a 2. So it's not shaping up to be a...
Is it the Stranger Tales one?
Fantastic week. It's one of them, yeah. As a matter of fact,
it's going to be the flower one.
Even the week after, I mean, we get a new X-Man, and we finally get the Lizard and Spider-Man. But even the week after,
it's going to be
kind of... Ooh, we get Captain America.
Oh, boy. Here we go. I know that. Look at your face. Here we go. Well, because you gotta start coming in eventually.
That's 2 weeks from now. That's Human Torch versus Captain America.
You know what? That's gonna be Cap all day. I'm sorry.
I'm rooting for Cap.
Yeah, you know you don't like Cap or like the poster boy. Cap should win that easily. He should go, bam, right in the face. It should be a clock out.
But yeah, so those are some things to be looking forward to over the next couple weeks. Damien is going to be like, why is it the 1 week I'm on is going to be the week that has shitty comics?
It's shitty comics.
Sir, just weigh the cookie crumbs.
Right. He just... That's the way to go. Mr. Baxter.
Right. All right, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're out. This actually ended up being a longer one because it actually had a couple more stories to go over. So,
yes.
We will see you guys next week. Remember, next week we have some lackluster stories that we'll be going over, but thankfully...
we save it up with a Hawkeye and a Spider-Man.
Thankfully, we make up for it with the Hawkeye episode and Spider-Man. So, I'm just saying next week is going to be a great week overall.
Yeah, overall.
You can't harsh my mellow.
And it's his birthday next week.
It is. Actually, as of this viewing, I will already be 36 years old. This comes out a day after my birthday.
Right, after birthday. So give this man a happy birthday. Send him everything.
So, thank you for that.
Yeah, you see? Just make you do it for me when I'm out there May 4th, man.
You'll have to remind me.
Oh, you know I will.
I'm not good at remembering dates.
No, I got you.
So with that being said, guys, we will see you next week. Don't forget Spider-Man, Hawkeye, more comics. It's a great time to be a Marvel fan.
It's going to be great. Yeah, for Marvel fans at least. And we get Spider-Man for like 10 more years after this shit. Let's go.
I'm ready, dude.
I am ready.
Okay. We love y'all.
Yeah,
thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next week. Excelsior.
Goodbye, people. See you next week. It's Spider-Man week. Y'all get hype. Don't spoil nothing. I'm coming after you.